Oh, you're not ready for this one? Listen closely, because what went down at Dior's Paris headquarters has the entire fashion world whispering like wildfire. Meghan Markle, the Duchess who never fails to turn heads, arrived in Paris thinking it was her big comeback moment. But instead of flashing cameras and couture fittings, she walked right into a silent wall. Yep, Dior completely shut her out. Sources say Meghan's team had called it a private fashion visit, but insiders at Dior, they already knew the real story. Weeks before she even landed, a quiet memo had been circulated through Dior's sleek marble offices. No meetings, no fittings, no exceptions. Her name had been quietly flagged. Staff were instructed that if Meghan showed up unannounced, all inquiries were to go through legal. So when Meghan swept in, confident and radiant, claiming she had a couture appointment, the reception desk checked the list and her name was nowhere. No entry, no appointment, and definitely no Dior collaboration. Witnesses said the moment was icy but polite. No shouting, no chaos, just formal smiles and firm boundaries. Dior's head of communications calmly told her, "There's no appointment on record. Have a pleasant day, Duchess. That's it. Cold, clean, and final." For Meghan, who had been secretly pursuing Dior for months, this wasn't just rejection, it was humiliation. See, what people didn't know then is that Meghan's team had been pushing Dior hard behind the scenes. We're talking PowerPoint decks, campaign ideas, and endless proposals. She wanted to become Dior's global ambassador, the new face of modern royalty. Her team even pitched a Modern Diana campaign, meant to echo Princess Diana's timeless elegance reimagined for a new generation. But inside Dior, that pitch didn't go the way she'd hoped. One senior executive reportedly said, "We dress legends. We don't create them from other anyways." Controversy. Ouch. After that, Meghan's name was quietly removed from Dior's contact lists. What happened at the Paris office wasn't spontaneous. It was the final act of a decision made long ago. A few days later, leaks confirmed it all. Emails, proposals, and correspondence between Meghan's team and Dior surfaced revealing she'd been pursuing the partnership for months. Her final pitch even compared her image to Diana's legacy, and that, according to insiders, was the breaking point. Dior didn't want a PR circus, they wanted distance. The board quietly voted to blacklist her from all upcoming collaborations. And soon after, other brands under the LVMH empire, yes, the same giant that owns Dior, Fendi, Givenchy, and Louis Vuitton followed suit. But Meghan, she wasn't going down without a fight. Just days after Dior cut her off, something strange started happening online. Suddenly, influencers began praising her Dior-inspired elegance. Posts appeared everywhere. Same captions, same hashtags, same tone. Dior's internal PR team got suspicious. They traced those posts back to agencies linked to Meghan's own PR network. It looked like an attempt to manufacture a Dior connection after rejection, and that's when Dior made their final move. They issued one brief, off-the-record statement to editors across Europe. Dior has no current or planned partnership with the Duchess of Sussex. That single line sent shockwaves across fashion capitals. In couture, silence isn't peace, it's punishment. When Dior speaks that quietly, everyone listens. Once Meghan's name hit the internal restricted lists at LVMH, it was game over. These secret lists used by luxury brands worldwide include names that are too risky, too unpredictable, or too controversial for a collaboration. And yes, Meghan was added to it. Givenchy, the very brand that once dressed her for royal events, immediately stepped back. Chanel quietly declined her team's next pitch. Stylists were warned not to pull samples for her. Emails went out advising teams to avoid association. Was it personal? Not really. It was protection, because in fashion, image is currency, and Meghan's, at least in Paris, had become a liability. No one wanted to be caught in the crossfire of her controversies. Paris didn't exile her publicly, it simply stopped responding. In that silence, her exile was complete. Still, Meghan wasn't ready to fade quietly. A few days later, she made a surprise appearance at Balenciaga's Paris Fashion Week show, a bold move meant to reclaim her spot among the elite. The cameras clicked, the flashbulbs lit up, and for a brief moment she seemed unstoppable. But inside the venue, the mood shifted. One stylist whispered, "You could feel the air freeze when she walked in." Editors avoided eye contact. Designers turned politely distant. The applause that followed was polite, but hollow. To the audience, it was a show. To insiders, it was an awkward performance. Nobody approached her, nobody congratulated her. Her presence felt heavy. Because in that world, Paris can forgive arrogance, it can forgive scandal, but it never forgives bad energy. And that night, Meghan's energy was described as suffocating. Then, just when you thought things couldn't get worse, came the move that turned quiet unease into full-blown outrage. After the Balenciaga show, Meghan was spotted filming near the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, yes, the same tunnel where Princess Diana lost her life. Her team insisted it was just a scenic drive, but to Parisians, it was beyond tone-deaf. For someone who had publicly compared herself to Diana, choosing that spot felt deliberate, even provocative. Whispers spread that Meghan wanted to reclaim Diana's legacy, to draw emotional parallels between them. But to the people of Paris who still mourn Diana deeply, it felt like performance disguised as tribute. A senior Dior stylist said quietly, "Diana's legacy belongs to memory, not marketing." And that one quote summed up the entire sentiment. Because that short drive, filmed or not, did more harm than any rejection Dior could ever deliver. By the end of Fashion Week, Meghan's illusion of belonging had shattered. People who once admired her poise began questioning her purpose. It also came to light that Balenciaga hadn't even dressed her. The stunning outfit she wore? Borrowed, not gifted. Her team had arranged it through intermediaries, not directly through the brand. The shoes, simple black pumps, were the only genuine Balenciaga item. In the world of high fashion, that's code for exclusion. No custom fitting, no invite, no couture touch. She wasn't a guest of honor, she was a guest of circumstance. And that's when Paris truly turned. Editors who once flattered her stopped writing features. Stylists declined her requests. Even photographers stopped angling for her best side. Not out of cruelty, but disinterest. Because in Paris, they don't boo you out of the room. They just stop looking up when you enter it. When Meghan finally boarded her flight home, the camera still clicked, but the warmth behind those flashes was gone. Paris had decided the Dior fiasco wasn't just an isolated embarrassment. It was a reflection of something deeper, a story about authenticity, belonging, and the fine line between admiration and imitation. She had come to France hoping that fashion could fix what controversy had broken. She believed couture could restore the grace the tabloids had stripped from her, but Paris, with all its glittering sophistication, saw through the act. Because in this city, style without sincerity is just costume. One editor at Le Figaro summed it up perfectly. The difference between Diana and Meghan was never just grace, it was truth. By the time Meghan left the city, the whispers had turned into silence. No headlines, no chaos, just quiet conclusion. Paris didn't cancel her with scandal, it canceled her with indifference. Because in the end, Meghan Markle didn't walk out of Paris as fashion royalty. She walked out as a reminder that in the kingdom of couture, admiration cannot be demanded. It has to be earned. And for Meghan, Paris decided she'd earned only one thing: distance.